So, One Piece fans are currently in a frenzy. The anime is on a 6-month hiatus. Oh my gosh, what's gonna happen, man? What's gonna happen? It means a lot. It means a little. Are they admitting the pacing's ass because are we doing Fishman Island? Oh my gosh, what's happening? All right, man, we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it, man. Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Had to get one of the biggest One Piece fans we know, man. Johnny Starr, thank you for joining us today.
Sir.
What's up, gang? What's up? What's poppin'? Appreciate y'all for having me. I really love you guys, legitimately. I try to catch
too, man.
I try to catch every
likewise.
live stream as I can. You know, all of my friends come up here, so it's only right that I swing by. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was funny. So I was having a convo with Inaku and Ronan and like Creams and Mikey a while back about like going on other people's like podcasts and shit like that. Right. Like as you're growing as a YouTuber and you're trying to get
branching out networking
and we were all like every single time it was always like, bro, going on the flow is dope. Like it's like it's because the boys is chill, and Ina, huge fan, she's basically family up here, like her yes. showing up for like the cons and shit like that. So it's always been love, so,
oh yeah, again, and we appreciate that because that's one thing that like at the very least I know like everybody like we are all locked in on just like making a super comfortable environment to just chill and talk about nerd shit because oh fucking
it's
nerds.
Dope. It's important. It's important.
Hey, that's what it is. Man.
One Piece is gone until what, mid-March, or maybe it's April.
I think April they say,
yeah, April, yeah. 6 months, man. God damn.
I know that's definitely probably the longest that any part of One Piece has been on hiatus for, whether it's the manga, whether it's the anime. Whether it's the dub adaptations,
right.
So we're about to enter a world where, of course, on the manga side, we've had like, these new age shows ending and whatnot. But like the one consistent pillar has always been like One Piece, whether it's the manga or the anime. And even the manga is on like a 2-week break, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Otis taking
yes, yeah. We're currently on a 2-week break, yeah.
Yeah. So tell me how interesting this is as someone who like is very up to date with One Piece and everything going on with the culture, where like One Piece content, One Piece just like media is like on a full-fledged damn near stop for a good while right now.
So, I mean, what I first want to address is the kind of weird entitlement there was going around when we heard the announcement. And then on top of that, the cancellation of the game that Bandai was working on, because they canceled a shit ton of games that they were working on. I'm certain it was like to kind of cut back costs. I think most companies around first and fourth quarter, they start, getting into that like, all right, what we're making a decent amount of money. What can we cut? And I think a lot of people were under the impression that was happening. It's like, oh, Bandai's looking bad, bro. They're canceling all these games. Bro, Sparking just came out. This is about to be the highest selling anime game of all time. So Bandai is not short on cash. So I'm certain this was just like typical, your everyday regular like decision. But again, on top of that, we got so many like, oh yeah, the anime's going on break, manga's going on break, no anime game. And like One Piece fans are like, bro, it's like the worst time to be like a One Piece fan. We were killing it for 3 years, dog. 3 years, bro. New game, live action that cooked, new animation style, new movie. Like we could listen.
Remake announcements, like
we could take a step back for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let them chill, bro. We can take a step back.
Let's not act like when this shit comes back, because I know we before the pod we were just talking about like the new episode with the animation. I've seen some clips; it looks beautiful, right? Like let's not act like when they come back they're not going to be locked the fuck in. Like there's a reason that all this is happening, and there's still the live action, there's still the remake coming that they're still working on, and now they're going to redo arcs from the past, possibly update them with Fishman Island. Not the best arc to start on. Let's not get ourselves. Continue past that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There could be some more hype moments from that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's there. Like, I don't even think this is necessarily a step back as much as just let's pause. We're gonna reconfigure, and when we come back, we're gonna be even more locked in than we were before. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And that's my feeling on it. That was my initial feeling right away once I heard about the announcement, was just the fact that, okay, you know what? So let's, you know, chill out. Let's try and what is it? Let's try and reconvene and figure out what it is that we want to, like, how can we keep up, you know, the stamina of the show, keep up the consistency of the animation. Again, the fan letter should be like the immediate showcase, like, bro, this is what they can do at full power right now.
right.
But like we were talking about pre-pod, Daima is currently running. And I believe that Toei thinks of One Piece as their new Dragon Ball, right?
Right.
Oh,
Like
without a doubt.
it's their child. They're gonna do everything they can to make sure that this show is running as perfectly as they possibly can. They're gonna
Child
put as much
and
money.
cash cow.
Exactly. They don't want Daima and the One Piece anime to conflict with each other in terms of animation and workload. Don't overwork the animators. We've already kind of seen how people have outspoken and how the industry has outspoken about work abuse and how they're treating their people, especially during, you know, the JJK season 2 era of, like, you know, episodes coming out unfinished and, you know, people being like, bro, they literally only gave us like 3 days to get this episode done and whatever. I'm certain that Toei doesn't want that on them. So they're like, you know what? To keep up with the consistency, to not conflict with the Daima time slot, let's go ahead, take a step back, and, you know, give our team about 6 months to come, like, get what they need done so that when we continue the One Piece anime, it'll be as good as it's ever been. And on top of that, while we're doing that, we can go back, do reanimations for other seasons, specifically Return to Sabaody and then into Fishman Island. The real question that I have for, you know, for like One Piece fans and shit is, I know we're getting the touch-ups, right? But are we getting pacing cuts? It is that's the real thing for me. Will they be cutting down and kind of restructuring stuff in terms of pacing? Because really, when I saw the actual clips of what the reanimation looks like, I won't lie to you, even as a One Piece fan, that just looks like y'all put a filter on it. Like, it literally looks like you guys slapped the Wano filter.
It's a patch.
You know, it's a patch. It's a patch.
Yeah.
It's a graphics patch. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little concerned in terms of, like, all right, how will you guys be handling, like, the other aspects outside of the way that it looks, you know? But we'll see.
And that's a fair concern, I think, personally, because the way that I thought you were going to go is, depending on the, you know, the, not backlash, but like feedback from Return to Sabaody, Fishman Island Saga, what's the likelihood of them? Oh, Jesus. What's the likelihood of them just transitioning into, like, taking One Piece seasonal, like, even once they come back?
Yeah,
because I think that's
I don't know.
I'm interested in, like, what you think the possibility of that is, personally.
I would say so. My thing is that, like, in terms of moving One Piece forward for older fans and newer fans who maybe don't fuck with the pacing of the original anime, because I'm with people like, who was it? Like, totally not marking some Twitter people where there's just like, there's value in the original, you know? I don't think we should get to a point where we're essentially trying to completely rewrite history on what the original offered in terms of, you know, animation and comedy and timing and all that kind of stuff, right? Charm, exactly. There is a lot to love about the original run of the anime. So I wouldn't say that we should be looking for them to just go back and undo everything that has ever been done and try to bring it up to speed. I think right now my real focus is the Studio Bones, or whatever studio was for the what is it? The One Piece.
Oh,
the
wait,
Wit Studios. Yeah. Because that one for me is going to be the one that'll really get newer people in. That's going to get people through the door of, like, you know what? Haven't been able to watch it because of, you know, how old it is and how long it is, but the reanimating it, new team, new experience for One Piece fans, and then, you know, starting from scratch and fixing up some of the pacing issues, that's going to be the real test of like, okay, can we really create a whole new thing where people are going to be able to get through what One Piece is? And, you know, like that was like, I think they even tweeted that. They were like, or they put out a statement going, if people like this enough, we can see us doing this for the next how many years, you know, X amount of years. So we really want to provide like a great experience so that people do want to continue this. If it doesn't, then we're just like, hey, we just made a little special for you guys. Yeah. We redid East Blue. You guys didn't like it that much. Whatever. You guys just have new One Piece content. It's fine. Yeah. We'll just, you know, we'll let it go and we can go back to regularly scheduled programming. That's the one that's going to be the real test. That's the one I'm like, okay, will this really, you know, bring in new fans and create an entirely new experience for existing fans?
And I am also curious if like that remake announcement, Toei saw it and was like, man, we might have to, you know, we might have to lock in a little bit here, man. You know, we kind of been, y'all remaking it. We might got to do our own little touch ups, and we can't fumble the end of One Piece. We can't fumble because now with the remake coming out, people are gonna be looking at that. They may just be like, hey, let's just watch that. Fuck Toei, right? Yeah. Like we can't fuck this up. This has got to be our whole thing. Like this has got to be the thing that's going to carry us because we have this now. They're not going to be able to get to this part till years in the future, right? So like we have this now. We have to lock in. We have to do it right. That could be part of the reason they even did this hiatus in the first place is because they were like, shit, we actually got pressure now. We can't just be like, oh, you know what, man? 5 episodes of them staring at each other, man. Y'all got this. We can't be doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? Not saying they were because I've seen a lot of the episodes have been better as of recent, but that remake announcement might have had something to do with it. And then the touch-ups, that's what really gets me like, there's no way that they didn't see something because if they're touching up these arcs, and hey, they might be trying to get One Piece out of business. I don't know. I mean, I fuck with One Piece. But.
I mean, One Piece is at like damn near peak, correct me if I'm wrong, peak popularity right now, especially like you mentioned before with all the different adaptations. Of course, just the news, the fact that it is like very much far and ahead in terms of like the most consistent thing in the world of anime and manga right now, especially after like the event of Attack on Titans ending, even going farther back in terms of the endings of the rest of the big three. Like One Piece has been the thing. So it makes sense for like, okay, now that literally there's no other guarantee in the industry aside from this, let's fucking milk it.
Man. It really is so crazy to think about One Piece for the longest time, especially during the run of the big three. One Piece was kind of the weird one, right? Like Bleach and Naruto were the ones that were like, oh yeah, no, if you like cool shonen, this is it right here, right? You guys watch this stuff, especially Naruto. One Piece was kind of like the weird, like, I mean, it's shonen, it has cool moments and shit like that, but like, I mean, it's only like those elitists or like a handful of people who are watching One Piece. And then as time goes on, you start to see like little changes here and there, you know, it's like, okay, so they got some video games and people ain't really fucking with that. I mean, like some of these like high profile people, like, you know, like celebrities are saying they fuck with One Piece. You know, you got soccer players doing like Gear 2 shit, and you're like, okay, all right, cool. You know, One Piece is getting some motion. Then we got the live action. Then we got the Macy's Day Parade float. Then we got the
NFL game. They had an
NFL game.
Yeah.
They had the shit in New York with like they took over the what is it? God damn, like downtown New York and shit.
Oh, the Jumbotrons and shit.
Exactly, the Jumbotrons and stuff. It was the moment where I, even as a One Piece fan, were like, oh fuck, we're like actually here. Like this is our, like, One Piece again, like Toei views One Piece as their current Dragon Ball. This is the series that's going to be keeping them afloat, that the one that they're going to be able to push to the forefront. Same thing with Viz, right? Like Shonen Jump. They know Oda is their guy who's going to be around for a while. As these other series come and go, One Piece will be keeping the lights on for however long, right? Which is extra funny to me, thinking of Oda as this guy who's like, yeah, I'm just going to go on break for like 3 weeks.
Yep.
Y'all figure that shit out.
And what the fuck are they gonna do? What the hell is Shueisha gonna do about
Nothing.
it?
Just bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all in a week. I'm gonna hang out with my kids. Oh, I got eye surgery. I'm gonna be out for like a month. So
Yeah,
y'all keep that down.
If everyone else's max right now is like I just saw the updated sales for like Kagurabachi. Y'all got over on the Blue Box fans for a week, I guess. It's one time for everything. But what's it called?
Yeah.
Like if the max that anyone else in the magazine is getting is like 120 sales in a month, and you have One Piece that is like the only thing that is able to get like a mil, 1.5. I think it has a 2 mil sale month this year. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But what's it called? Like you have to double down on that because of once again like the uncertainty of every other IP, whether it's in the magazine, every other IP in anime and manga, and also like because of the pressure from the outside world of like increasing conditions of increasing awareness for conditions of mangaka or animators and whatnot, you have to allow for the 6-month break. You have to allow for the 3-week-long break. You have to allow for that wiggle room, not only to keep up with the demand for that, the outrage of that, but also to keep the quality high. That's one thing that I think is getting lost in a lot of this. Like, I saw some people, I don't know if they were One Piece fans or whatnot, that were trying to just trivialize it down to like, oh, they just caught too close to the manga. They just got too close to the manga. I'm like, gang, even if that's the truth, like there's factors beyond that, and that's fine because it means that they care. Like for a very long time, a lot of people saw the Toei animation, they saw whatever, and whether it was because of ignorance or just fandom or hatred, they were like, oh, they just treating One Piece like this, like they just bullshitting when it comes to One Piece or whatnot. But this shows like a lot of people, I think, in the industry, or at the very least, it should, that the studio cares, these people care, the industry cares, and whether it's because they starving or it's because like it's fucking One Piece and it's entered the era. It's entered the era, like you said, where it is the crowning jewel of anime and manga right now.
I also want to say this too, because when the Wit Studios animation got announced, I was in conversations with some people, my homie Mike UB included, and I was seeing this sentiment a lot with people on Twitter, where there was kind of like this, I don't want to say anger, but sense of disappointment, because it was like, why is One Piece getting this? Like out of all the series, One Piece is still ongoing. It's not over. Why is this getting a remake when there are so many other series that are more deserving of a remake? Ergo, like series like Soul Eater and stuff like that. And which I understand. I'm 100% like on the side of like, would I have liked there for other series to get this shine? There are plenty of series that I would love to for them to get another shot at being popular with a reanimation with better touch-ups and work based on the actual source material. 100%. But we've never gotten a proper Vagabond anime. That shit is actually insane to me. So I'm with the crowd. But we also have to understand, and I don't want to sound like a fucking super capitalist when I say this, but
this is a business.
And One Piece is the series that makes the money to afford this. It's like there is no other series that makes that much money for a studio to go, whatever you guys want to make, we'll fund it. We'll put the money behind it. Whatever it is that y'all are trying to do, we will do it. So you kind of have to let go in that sense, where it's like, all right, bro, like would I preferred Air Gear to come back and get a reanimation in 2024? 100%. But I also got to remember, we're talking about One Piece, the literal cash cow of Toei of the modern day. They're going to put as much money into whatever fucking project that's going to get them whatever dividends back. Because again, with the reanimation, bro, new people aren't going to be the only ones watching this. New fans are going to go back and watch that shit. O'Hara is going to make 30 videos on that shit. Like,
oh god,
yeah. So
shout out O'Hara, man.
Oh, shout out O'Hara, bro. But yeah, like this shouldn't be a shock. This shouldn't be a shock to anybody. Like they're gonna do what they gotta do. So yeah.
And it's like, well, it's not like One Piece didn't necessarily need it, because like I feel like a remake of One Piece will be needed almost. Like it would do well. Like it helps with in terms of, because there were issues with the anime, before, more recent times. I feel like, because I mean I don't hear people really complain anymore, but like before that, like a lot of complaints, a lot of drawn out arcs. You know what I'm saying? Like when they were close to the manga for a period of time, like you can tell like the pacing is very much suffered. So like taking that, being able to redo it, it helps. Like you said, I mean, obviously it'd be nice to get other things, but it's not like it's the worst option. You know what I mean? Even with that being said,
yeah, I agree. Like there are worse series to, like, you could think of to get, like, what is it, like a remake. I'll even take it a step further. There are other series that should have gotten remakes that were going to get a remake and then just didn't, for whatever budgeting or like reasons for it. I talk about this all the time. Bro, y'all remember we were supposed to get 4 Naruto episodes. And then we just didn't. And then we just didn't get them.
That shit was so
weird.
Much buzz.
Yeah,
created so much buzz, so much hype, so much like acclaim. People were ready for it. They were like, "Oh my god, what does this mean?" Like, are they gonna like redo Boruto? Like, are we gonna get a Naruto reanimation? Like everything,
everything was lined up for it. Boruto was going on break. The new arc in Boruto was starting, like Twin Vortex, right? We just got the reanimation, like, thing with all of the arcs through Naruto, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, and by the way, 4 new Naruto episodes that are going to be whatever the
material."
They showed the visual art for it.
Had the clips, yeah.
And then out of nowhere, they went, "Yeah, so we're gonna hold off on that because we want to keep up with the quality of what people expect from us." And then radio silence.
And who was that? Period, right?
It was Period, Studio Period.
Yeah.
So like,
and Black Clover, they bullshit with too, man. Period.
Yeah, you just gotta wonder, like, what does it take for these decisions to go through? Like, how much, I want to say, backing do studios need in order to make sure that they can get out the projects they're looking to get? And you just have to look at it from like a pragmatic standpoint. For as much as I would love for Vagabond to get a proper reanimation in the modern day, hearing One Piece is getting one shouldn't be a shocker to you. That's all. Right. It just shouldn't, man. Just how much money that series makes is just like, you got to put your hands up.
This is crazy.
You got to pull the Drewski, bro.
Specifically compared to everything else going on right now. Like I get it. I get it. I understand it. Again, not the super capitalists here.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Now, go ahead. Okay, I'll go. All right, now my question, because I had thought about this earlier, is like, because obviously we have kind of the announcement that One Piece is entering its final saga or whatever. Like, it's interesting timing to have all this push for it as it's doing that, because now we kind of have a timetable. Like, okay, we don't have infinite amount of time One Piece left. It's going to be few years, maybe 5 years, whatever it's going to be, right? So like it's kind of like a cut time. So now we're getting this push. I do find that interesting. Is like, is that calculated, or they kind of waiting to do all this stuff once this happens? Like, what's kind of the thing there? It's very interesting to me to think about that.
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I think it's kind of a mix of what is it? Obviously, right, with you want to put as much energy into people getting excited for the last bit of One Piece, right? Like, you want to, obviously, as the series has gone on and on, it has made more and more money. It's become more and more popular. I think it's probably just a byproduct of like, hey, we're noticing the world is paying attention to One Piece now more than they've ever been. So let's go ahead and capitalize on that, right? I think there's that aspect of it too. But what I also think is that, again, I keep alluding or saying that like Toei views One Piece as their Dragon Ball. I think what they want is to maintain that level of stardom past the ending of One Piece.
Right.
I think they're gearing fans up to be receiving consistent content even when the manga's over. I think that's what it is. Because I think there was that exactly for the mass. That's what I think. That's what I think, right? Because when you think about it, like us growing up with Dragon Ball, you kind of always felt like Dragon Ball was always there, right? There was never a point where you weren't aware of Dragon Ball or there was Dragon Ball content for you to participate in. But when you really think about when the original Dragon Ball released, and then like Dragon Ball Z, and then GT, bro, that was all like late 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and then just nothing for years until eventual, like, okay, Toei's is like, oh, okay, you know what, maybe we drop these movies, you know, maybe we get Toriyama to create some movies for us. Okay, people are kind of fucking with the movies a little bit. All right, you know, let's do another movie, and then
Kai too.
We'll do. We got Kai, we got and then we got Super, and then Super became what it was. And I think Toei is like, we want to maintain this level of stardom for One Piece. So let's get ahead of it. Let's not even give it like time to where we have the drought. Let's make sure that we can keep let's make sure that we can keep up with this One Piece stardom and like its relevancy now as much as we possibly can. Now, can it backfire to where people are like, all right, too much One Piece, I'm kind of off it, it's been everywhere, whatever? You already have the weirdos who are currently on Twitter being like, yo man, like I'm kind of sick of One Piece, bro. Like the animation is like good every week. Like it's just like boring, you know? Like if you know the animation's gonna be good every week, like why would you said no smart person. Like I'm not even.
If we're gonna get the same good stuff,
just am I yapping, bro. Like don't you get if you get tired of eating the same good food, like you're gonna eventually want some. Shut the fuck up, bro. Oh my God. What are you even talking about at this point? But whatever, bro. But
statement I might have ever.
Yeah, but it's. I think there could become a time where, there may be a point where people start to talk about One Piece fatigue, right? It's similar with like, you know, superhero movie fatigue. But I'm more in line with like, I watch a lot of like Cosmonaut Variety Hour, where he's like, he doesn't think that superhero fatigue is a thing because people still go watch superhero movies and there's always one movie that like breaks the box office. It's more of there's a fatigue of bad product, right?
Or mediocre specifically.
Mediocre product. People are getting tired of watching superhero movies they don't like, right? So I think it'll be a similar situation with One Piece where as long as the product is good, the fan base will always be there. Same thing with Dragon Ball. Like if there's something to come back to, people are going to like it. I genuinely do believe that the Tournament of Power saved Super. 100%.
Oh yeah, I think that's
the Tournament of Power 100% saved Super.
It gave something for everyone to tap into and keep up with and theorize about and re-enter the theoretical debate, like whatever.
And most people say that it's a good, like it's pretty renowned to be a good arc, which wasn't really happening before it. You know what I mean? Like it within Super. So I think that all kind of culminates.
Bro, I remember driving back with my homies like Saturday night. We were in San Francisco, chilling in the pier. We were driving back dead of night. And someone's like, yo, the last episode of the Tournament of Power airs today. Pulled that shit up on my phone. We were in the backseat just like, oh shit, Frieza, Goku team. Like that level of fandom is what I think Toei wants from One Piece. Exactly. So
and they need it too.
So that's what I think is happening. I think Toei is like, yo, we know Oda's getting into his final arc. We know he's going to do what he's going to do. So let's just get ahead of this train before the train leaves. Let's get on and put out as much as possible so that we know for sure this fan base is going to rock with us long after the final chapter comes out.
And there's so much that goes into it because you could even say, hey, this 6 month break, that gives people plenty of time to catch up for the final saga.
Yeah.
Like it's so much shit that you can really think about when it comes to this. Cause like for me, I'm gonna be caught up. I know I'm gonna be caught up in 6 months for sure. I'm gonna be locked. You know what I'm saying? So like,
no,
listen,
I tweeted, bro. I tweeted, bro. I watched the fan letter shit. I'm rereading One Piece now. Once this is over, I'm getting some pizza, dog.
Fiend, bro.
Yeah, I'm a fiend. I
mean, haven't you like reread it like a few times? Yeah. 5.
It's about to be 6, baby. It's about to be 6.
So crazy, bro.
It was funny because I was talking to my girl yesterday because we went to get food and we were chilling and I was showing her a clip that made me cry from the fan animation. Yeah. And she watched the live action and she really loved the live action, but she actually hasn't gone through the entire thing.
That's a tough sell. It's
a tough sell. I totally understand it. And I was telling her about the remake and she was like, "Oh yeah, no, I would definitely love that. I would definitely watch that." And I was explaining to her, I was like, "Bro, like it's hard to quantify how much I love this series. It really truly is. Like it's hard to explain it. Like One Piece has been there for me in like lowest moments. It's been there for my highs. Like it has truly been the series that I've grown up with. And no matter how many times I watch it or read it or experience it, it always feels like a new time. Like the what is it? Marineford. I told her I know what's going to happen. Every time I know how it's going to end, but it makes me cry every time. Because there's just something there, like Oda, at least for me, like his writing style and like the way he portrays these characters is just like, there's something spiritual about it where every time I experience it, it feels like the first time. So I get excited to reread it. I really do. Every time I'm like, all right, it's reread season. Let's get through it.
Yeah. And I'm on you about the 5, but like, I envy that. Cause like that, there's only 2 anime that like I rewatch and like replicate the feeling: FMAB and Haikyuu.
Yeah,
the only 2 series, and I don't even think there's anything like inherent to those 2 that like I can point out and be like, oh, these 2 do it, but nothing else I've watched. Like there's a lot of emotional storytelling in Naruto.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I don't feel it on time 3 or 4. Now I haven't even attempted to re-experience. so I'm not like I can't put that on that. But like just the feeling. I understand it. Like when you have this essentially forever media, because like as growing up a American comics fan, that same like forever media is just the nature of American comic books. And writers go through the same retreading of Spider-Man stories, Batman stories, Green Lantern stories, Flash stories, etc. And sometimes that shit hits over and over again. It hits for Dick Grayson for me over and over again. It hits for Teen Titans for me over and over again. It hits for whatever the different variation of basically a retread of the Young Avengers are in this era of Marvel. Like it hits for me every time. And so, like, I get it. I truly get it. And it's something that is, like, magical when it's captured. But now, I guess, to see it on a scale where, like, Toei knows the impact of that feeling. Shueisha knows the impact of that feeling. Wit understands the impact of that feeling. It brings me to this question of how do we feel about the fact that in real time, in front of everyone, these studios, these franchises, these businesses are seeing the value of essentially manufacturing that forever media. Because like One Piece is the closest thing to forever, but now that the ending is on the horizon, we can see them shuffling the bits around to make it everlasting, to have this remake overlap this ending for a new audience, to bring in a new cycle of fans. It's like the fucking Disney cycle. Like how do you feel about that being so
okay? So this is a great question, and honestly, it got the gears turning in my head when you were talking about it. So I actually had a conversation with Broken Ronin, like I want to say a week ago, and he was like, all right, Johnny and Mikey, I need to ask y'all. So y'all already know how people have been feeling about the endings of My Hero and then JJK. What do you guys think will be the impact or the view of the One Piece ending? And his specific question wasn't whether or not it'll be good. Do you think One Piece fans will like it no matter what it is? And I think truly, I think the answer is yes. I think people are going to love it no matter what it is, because I think there's an inherent trust and love for Oda as a writer and the characters that he's created that fans of the series truly feel like he couldn't do what we saw with MHA and JJK. Like he loves these characters so much as we do, that I don't think he could bring himself to do what we saw with those other endings, right? And so I think when you look at it from that framing, where you have a fan base that is so in love with this thing that you've created, that no matter what you do, they will watch it, bro, you have to be like Disney looking at what Toei, Shueisha, and Oda are doing with One Piece and look at what happened with Star Wars and go, bro, we fucked it up so bad. Like these people who love One Piece, they used to be the same people who were in love with Star Wars no matter what we dropped. They loved it no matter what.
Jones,
we
MCU,
had so much goodwill. You know what I'm saying? To drop the ball on a fan base's goodwill is like the biggest fumble you could possibly do.
Man.
It really truly is. Like you could put out bad products and people go, all right, man, we weren't really fucking with that like that. You know what I'm saying? Like come back and redo it, whatever. Like you can fumble in areas like that. And if you're big enough, you can come back from it. But to abuse a fan base's goodwill is where I think you really lose people. Right. Like I would even say for me, I was like a casual Star Wars fan. I remember watching Revenge of the Sith as a kid. I played all the video games. How do you not like space wizards with laser blades? Like what are we talking about? Like it's literally like there's nothing cooler than that. There's really
we're at the bottom of the totem pole right now. I need this.
There's no way you could make something not as appealing as that, right? But then you get like the prequel, or what is it? The sequel trilogy, and how unbelievably divisive people were about that entire thing. And then to culminate into what was the last one was like the Rise of Skywalker. And then we were like, all right, you know what? And again, even in then, you had people who were like, all right, the movies just suck. The movies suck. But all the other stuff, dope. Mandalorian, Clone Wars. We love that shit, right? And then you fumble with Mandalorian, and then you fumble with all the other shows. That immediately,
how do you fuck up an Obi-Wan show? How do you make an Obi-Wan show look flat?
I was just about to say that. I think the Obi-Wan show is where that's where the goodwill ended. That's when it was over. It was like, fuck it. We're not watching Ahsoka. Fuck it. We're not watching
I haven't seen Ahsoka.
We're not watching the other shit. We're not watching Boba Fett. Y'all have essentially taken all the goodwill we gave you. You gave it back. We're taking it back. We're done. We're over. Similar situation with Marvel. Like you're looking at the Robert Downey Jr. reveal of him being the new Doom. It's like right now y'all still have the goodwill. In any other context, we would have tear y'all a new one for this decision. But you still have our goodwill. We still want to see where y'all take it from here, right? So and I agree with Cosmonaut again.
Yeah.
If they fuck up the Fantastic Four movie, it's over. It's over.
Specifically because there's no future. There's no future. Like the Robert Downey Jr. thing, like that's a grenade. You just hoping it goes off. But planting the seed of a new family, of a new franchise, of a new especially one of the rising actors, and not to get too much into it, but Pedro Pascal, one of the rising actors in all of Hollywood right now. Like for you to be able to fumble that big introduction to a verse, that would be a huge.
Again, it's a wheel thing. It's like, all right, we're already starting to see you guys were fucking around with the TV shows after Endgame. You guys the movies were coming out not as good. Fucking Quantumania. Goddamn. What is his name? Bro playing Kang turned out to be a goddamn psycho.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors. Like, obviously there's a lot of things working against y'all. But again, you guys still have the goodwill of the people. So we're going to let you rock with this Robert Downey decision. But I'm telling, and let's be honest, no one is expecting the Captain Falcon movie to be great. No one, like, God. we're not hedging our bets on that. We're not hedging our bets on that. We're all kind of in agreement. It'll be whatever. 4 months
of reshoots, Johnny.
Yeah.
$400 million budget, Johnny. Oh, that movie's gonna be horrible.
My hands are up with that one. I'm not expecting that one to be great. But if they fuck up Fantastic Four, it's a done deal. I truly don't think there's going to be a comeback from that. So that's kind of full circle. I think goodwill truly is the make or break of any franchise. If you have the people locked in, they're going to rock with you with pretty much whatever you do, as long as you continue to feed them with good, decent, or even great product. And I think Toei is doing a great job with One Piece. And I think for any other company that has a franchise, y'all should be studying what you're watching right now. What you're seeing right now, study that.
Now specifically. Maybe don't go back in the,
no. Replicate right now. One Piece Toei.
Exactly. Yeah. 2020s post-COVID Toei, that's the people y'all should be watching. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, but I think earlier, like, one thing that kind of got me is, like, what's so beautiful about, the way Oda has treated One Piece is, like, you would think that a series like this, with this much acclaim, this much hype surrounding what's going to be the ending, it would be the easiest thing to fumble. But in fact, in reality, the way that Oda's constructed it, it's almost impossible for him to fumble. Which is it's crazy to think about that. Like, truly, it was. So
I'll actually even give you guys this. So I'm working on a Gotcha Kuta video. I'm currently getting it edited by my boy Busham Zero. Love you. And in the video, I talk about some of the things that really makes Gotcha Kuta great. And one of the aspects that I talk about in relation to One Piece is how you structure a story that allows for any type of creativity for the artist, right? So you essentially, what you do is that you create a world and premise that kind of allows for any type of story you want to be told, right? Gotcha Kuta is a great example because in it, the whole premise of the power system is the fact that, like, whatever object the person has and they take care of, that weapon can become whatever, can become powerful, and they can use it for whatever, right? So as the story continues, you really can use the weapons as a narrative tool. It'll show growth for the characters, where they are mentally, what type of person they are, like how their fighting style is. You can really get super creative throughout the story, and it can take you in multiple different places. One Piece is great is because Oda designed One Piece to allow him to tell whatever fucking story he wants, because the islands are so varied. Bro, you want to tell a fucking, like, a mystery horror? Bro, right? Like, you got Thriller Bark. Write a creepy island, right? You want to tell, like, a Jack and the Beanstalk type story? You got Skypiea, Island in the Sky. Easy. Done.
Crazy.
You just want to tell a story about a place with a bunch of food and candy that's like Candyland? Bro, you got Whole Cake. Like, Oda has really crafted One Piece in a way where he can just tell whatever story he wants and just tailor it to, just pirates going on an adventure, right? So that I think is really where he has his strengths in terms of being such a great writer, and why I think he's able to kind of just keep people interested, because while his fans love the whimsy and the new adventure and, like, the new island shit, he's like, oh, well, I could just get whatever ideas I have in my head, I can just get fun. Fuck it, I might write a Western. I might write a story about them being cowboys in a desert island,
I'm about to say, if that last arc ends with, like, a showdown shot,
yeah,
of, like, Luffy and whoever and like Elbaf or whatever the fuck, just like from straight out of what's it called, A Few Dollars More, and that trilogy.
Yeah, bro.
That framing just looks amazing in my head right now.
Bro, Elbaf. We literally just got to Elbaf, and immediately they're doing Norse mythology. And it's like, oh, see, he could just do whatever he wants. He could write it however he wants to go in terms
it makes
of
sense.
and it makes sense. And it works for the series. So yeah, man. Yeah, I think he did himself such a service writing One Piece the way that he did, so where he'll never get bored. He'll never get bored writing it. They'll never, and I think that's the unfortunate thing about how some of the newer Shonen Jump series ended with like JJK and My Hero, where the writers, they kind of felt pigeonholed into a way that this story is supposed to go. And at a just certain point, you just get like, I'm kind of just done. You know, I kind of just want to be over with it. I kind of want to be done with it. I keep telling people this. My headcanon for Gege Akutami is that he saw Horikoshi end his series. He put out the 5-chapter, like, oh, we're done in 5 chapters shit. And he just went, bro, you can just quit?
You know, Gege,
I can just quit.
Them last 25 chapters for Gege was a cry for help. And Horikoshi
like, oh, fuck. Oh, yeah. Ayo, editor. Ayo, we done in 5. We done in 5. I'm going on vacation.
We don't have a chapter this week. Put it in the back of the magazine.
Put it in the magazine.
Like, fuck it. He's
that's my headcanon. That's why I love Gege Akutami. I truly believe he saw Horikoshi. He was like, hey, yo, dog, how did they let you do that? He was like, oh, yeah, I was like, I'm done in 5. He was like, you can do that? It's like when you find out from your coworker that like you can look at your timesheet for your vacay. You're like, oh, fuck, I could just put in my vacation like that.
Will you find out with someone else who works the exact same job as you that they get $100,000 more? It's like, what?
I can ask for that.
I can just get a raise. Like,
who can I talk to? Yeah, no, all right, bro. I'm going to him right now. I'm going to the office right now,
bro. I think it's the same across the industry. But like, as an Attack on Titan fan, watching Isayama that last year, just like get the, and mind you, that was a monthly series.
Yeah.
And honestly, we missed a few months in 21 and 20. But watching the end of that, like seeing him, and he's talked about it like since, like seeing these writers pigeonhole themselves into whether it be satisfying the fans or this like dream that they had when they were 15, 16, reading Shonen Jump themselves or reading manga themselves, and like coming up with this ending for this series and then just sticking to that instead of like having the freedom that a series like One Piece has allotted Oda to, like you said, tell different stories in different genres and whatnot, or just like deviate from the plot. Because truthfully, I think that's what makes, at least in like my narrative analysis of One Piece, that's what makes One Piece great, is the fact that like that series, along with like Down to Down I Love, are the perfect showcases of the fact that plot doesn't fucking matter to me. Like it truly doesn't, in terms of like plot versus story is much more important. Character is much more important, because specifically in manga, it'll allow for you to spice up the storytelling from a week to week. And that's the only way to keep your sanity when you have to, like Oda's gone years, I think, where he doesn't miss a week.
Yeah.
Like, so for now, and I think it was in the Totally Not Mark video, or maybe it was in somebody else's video, where they were talking about like his new schedule of like basically missing once a month and whatnot. The only way to even keep that up is to be able to spice up your own creative means of storytelling. Because like he's not the person that he was when he started writing in 97. So why would he tell the same story? And why would we expect anyone else to do the same?
And I agree with the whole character over plot particularly, and I think that's the thing that separates One Piece from a lot of its contemporaries. Like one of my favorite directors, Sam Ismail, he's the same guy who created Mr. Robot. He's been on interviews talking about, he did one specific interview where someone was asking him questions about like his writing style and what matters to him most when it comes to creating these movies and TV shows. And he said, the thing that the audience is going to forget almost immediately, for the most part, is going to be the plot. What is it about? But what will stick with you is the characters. The characters will last longer with you. You're going to remember what they're like, what their mannerisms are, what their motivations are, and those will drive the people through the storytelling of it, because
Mhm.
plot across all mediums is the same. You've seen the same hero's journey a million times, right? You've seen the same kind of like
Save the world
downward.
plot,
Exactly. Plot
capture
has
the four
existed
crystals.
forever. People are always pulling from the same kind of narrative steps that we've seen for such a long time, right? But what really diversifies it is the characters you place in those situations and the decisions they make that essentially make up what the story will eventually be. And I think One Piece is such a great showcase of that. Whereas, because so much time and energy is put into making these characters so unique, lovable, and creative, like you can tell this story so many different ways, and it's going to be lovable because you're going to be able to walk away with a character that you may have never even thought you would like. Bro, people are mega fans of Senior Pink, bro. The
Hey,
dude
man.
who dresses up like a fucking babe. Like, people love
I was
that
about to
guy.
say, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I just seen the episode, man. I see why.
yeah, exactly. And on
Hey.
top of that, and I'll even bring it back to the fan letter shit, right? The fan letter, like, literally created two characters that have nothing to do with the overarching aspect of One Piece, right? Who literally you just see go through the same kind of situations that we already saw in terms of Marineford and Return to Sabaody, but it put it into their perspectives and how their lives were changed by the events that took place in One Piece and the characters involved. Like, the main girl with the orange hair, her whole thing is that her life was changed because of Nami, because Nami doesn't have a devil fruit and she isn't like super strong, but Nami is still able to be like a well-renowned pirate. And she's like, she inspires me to do what I want to do because she also feels weak and whatever, right? The fucking Marine guy, his whole thing was like, I'm a Marine, but because of Luffy fighting so hard to save his brother, he gave me the inspiration to go save mine, right? And I hope that Luffy is doing okay, and I would like to, thank him for what he gave me in that moment. Like, again, we're seeing all of the things that we already saw, but because of these new characters, they're put into different perspectives, and they mean so much more for it. And that is the magic of One Piece. It affects people because the characters it matters so much to. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, 100%. Characters over plot for me every time. Every time.
Yeah, like you really can't even like it'd be hard to explain what One Piece is about in terms of plot. Besides, it's the crew of characters, and they're going to try to find and reach their goals, trying to find the One Piece. That's the simple explanation. But outside of that, if you try to expand, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that doesn't capture all the hijinks that happen in Water 7. That doesn't capture the emotional storytelling that's in Enies Lobby. It doesn't capture the adventures that are in Skypiea or Dressrosa. It doesn't capture that. And like even beyond the character point, I think the thing that like the characterization like delves into and like pushes forward instead of plot, it pushes into the story. And like story is more malleable than plot in specifically One Piece, but like in just general, because it can change dependent on the participants. And so because of that, like especially with the cast of characters that exist in One Piece, it allows for you to tell these different stories, which is partially one of the reasons why like I am not one of those people who are like, oh man, why the fuck is One Piece getting these remakes? Why are they getting the readaptation and whatnot? Because there's so many different stories to tell within One Piece that like, yeah, they can start out with Fishman Island because that is it. Like that, even though that's nowhere near the best arc, that is nowhere near my favorite arc. It is an arc that explores some parts of the world or some facets of the story that like the rest of the series does not.
Yeah, you know what? Allow me to take this opportunity to get my shit off a little bit. So I will say this, right?
Go ahead.
I'll say this. So there are some arcs that aren't my favorite in One Piece, right? There's obviously for the amount of arcs that exist, there's obviously some arcs that are going to end up on the lower tier. I think most people would agree that kind of Fisherman Island to Punk Hazard is kind of like the mid section, right? For most people, right? What I will say to all of y'all who go out and say shit like that, please watch your tone. Because for as low as some of the One Piece arcs are, they're probably better than y'all's best arcs. Let's just be totally real. Let's be totally honest.
Let's throw the shots, man. Who are you talking about when you say that?
He's talking to Noragami fans. Fuck. I don't even know if he still exists.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is, if there's any fairy tale fans that exist, please shut the fuck up. Never talk about One Piece ever. Keep One Piece out of your mouth, please. Don't ever talk about bad One Piece arcs if you're a fairy tale fan. Shut the fuck up. I never want to hear from you ever. Please sit the fuck down. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I don't want to hear nothing from y'all. Well, and I'm documented. I'm documented. And all of my homies know I am a fairy tale hater till I die. Don't ever talk about that shit, bro.
One Piece Big Suck is showing.
I was about to say we might have a representative user. Come on, you.
That's all.
You can't do this, man.
And again, One Piece is not perfect. I will never sit here and say that One Piece is a perfect series. There's definitely some things that you can get good. No artist is perfect, right? But I think there is a testament to it. It's like, wow, you're able to consistently be as high on the totem pole as you are. That should be commended. Yeah. Listen, I'll even play around, bro. If there's any series to dick suck, I'm sorry, it's going to One Piece, bro. If I'm able to do it for Naruto, if I'm able to do it for Bleach, I'm able to do it for Dragon Ball. If there's any series that dick riding is perfectly okay to do, it's gotta be One Piece, bro.
It's the one that's always around.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
You know.
It's gotta be the one that's just there. You know,
sorry,
it's always
bro.
in the room.
Makes it easy.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I think with all that being said, I think it kind of brings us to a good conclusive point, because I know me and Cardiac got things to do and shit like that. But with that being said, man, I guess just to kind of sum us up here, I think obviously One Piece is that generational thing that's gonna really be around for a long time. I think that obviously with all these things coming out, with all these things happening, we see the things shifting into place to make that happen. I think it's just really great to see. And even if you're not the biggest fan of One Piece, it helps anime as a whole. All of this can push anime into further reaches. It can give other anime, wiggle room to do things that One Piece is, pushing the boundaries for. You know what I mean? So I think that is going to help everything in the long run. I think it's just good to see, man. Yeah, if y'all have any final conclusive thoughts on the One Piece discussion as a whole, go ahead. But I think we've touched on most of it. So there's always more. But,
I want to ask one question. It's taking One Piece, but it's like whatever, and this is short. If you had to choose one series that you beloved personally to get this treatment of a reanimation or a redo of the arc, what would it be?
Soul Eater immediately. Yeah, that one's easy for me. I figured. I know you. It's just simply the fact that out of all of the series, Soul Eater was the one that got the worst treatment in terms of how it ended. Soul Eater's manga is so infinitely better than the actual anime. It just is. It's leagues above. One of the things that irritates me is that I legitimately can't rewatch Soul Eater up to a certain point because they fuck up so much of what happened in the manga. That Black Star and Mifune fight, when you watch it originally, not knowing anything, you're like, oh yeah, this is dope. I fucking love Black Star. And then you read the manga and you go, what the fuck is this?
Level. Yeah.
It's like one of the best fights I've ever read. Yeah, no, bro. It's really unfair. And if I had infinite money and I could just put whatever production quality I wanted or money into something getting a remake, Soul Eater easy.
I think for me, I probably would say Tokyo Ghoul. Just because I know that how much better that manga is in the anime. And I did, enjoy the anime, to begin with. I started reading the manga, but I haven't. Okay, all right, bro. But anyways, I know how bad they fumbled with it, right? And I think that being able to redo that and remake it would help it very, very much greatly. So yeah, type shit.
If I had to say one series, it would have to be Kokoro Connect. An anime original. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I just think I love the writing in that series so much, and I think that the adaptation is just so lackluster that if it was animated to the level of a Kaguya-sama, if it got the treatment of a Horimiya, if it got the treatment of a Bunny Girl Senpai, it would be renowned as one of the greatest slice of life anime and like psychological like friendship with it. Like I think it would be heralded like more than Haruhi Suzumiya. I think it would be in those convos or beyond just because of how it's written and like how it uses a lot of the mechanics that it introduces. It just looks like pretty mid as fuck, if not just bad for 2012. Like it just does. I know that's crazy out of left field, but I have to give my Kokoro.
Hey man, fuck you, man.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it.
So,
I guess final words on the subject, man. Like again, if there was any time to be a One Piece fan, it would be now. Like this is the best. Yeah. This is the best timeline. This is the best period of time to get into it. There's so much content. There's so much stuff to enjoy. There's so much stuff to look forward to. Again, like once this is over, I'm gonna get something to eat and I'm gonna lay on my bed and reread One Piece today.
Comes full circle, man.
It's just there's so much to love and so much to appreciate, and I can't wait. Like I would say one of my bucket list things is to make like a Luffy video. And to be honest, it's hard for me to even think about doing something like that because I have so much to say. And how can you really fit all of that into one project? I don't see it for myself. I don't know if I would be able to say everything that I want to, but I'm hoping that one day I eventually have the tools I need to make it happen. So yeah, man, I love the series. I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm going to be enjoying this 6-month break as the manga continues and we get the reanimated scenes of Fishman Island and shit. So yeah, man, One Piece all the way.
That's amazing, bro.
I'm
gonna try to join you in that reread.
Yes, sir.
No, yeah,
you gotta catch up first, don't you?
Huh?
Are you caught up?
Catch up?
I'm not caught up, but what better way to catch? What better way to catch up?
That's true. That's true. That's true. I am mad at that.
There's a few things I have to read because I'm currently like very slowly reading Slam Dunk. I've been told I am due for a rewatch of Hunter x Hunter. Fuck TK. And One Piece, you know, if the anime is gonna be on hiatus, if it's as popular as ever, and if there's things to talk about, I'm gonna be involved in it, man.
There you go.
Gotta rewatch.
With that being said, if y'all heard Johnny talk about the Luffy video, man, and y'all want to potentially see the videos leading up to that and that video in the future, make sure you check out this channel, man, because it motherfucker makes great content over there, bro.
Amazing.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on again, bro. Appreciate it, man.
No problem, man. Like I said at the top, it's all love. Thank you guys for having me up here, man. Y'all are the best, bro.
Third one, you get a song, so we'll
hell yeah. I cannot wait.
You keep promising this to people.
I cannot wait.
I don't know what you're planning.
I cannot wait.
All right, man. With all that being said, man, shout out to the Chinatrons who came through, man. All y'all today, man. It was a good amount. I don't know if I'm gonna do your name, everybody. So shout out to y'all, man. We are affiliate now, man. So if y'all gotta check out the Twitch, man. If y'all watching this on YouTube, make sure to come through to that and things of that nature. We're trying to run it up over there too. Make sure to like, subscribe. We're trying to hit 1K by the end of the year. You know how it is. And things of that nature. But yeah, man, One Piece, let us know your thoughts in the comments on the 6-month hiatus. And with all that being said, join Discord, Patreon, all of that in the description. And we will catch y'all later, man. Love you guys. Flow out. Peace.